Okay, hi everyone. I would have the privilege and the honor of introducing all of you to, I call him the Jefe, Michael Jaco. He is um, retired Navy SEAL of 24 years, and after the Navy, CIA operative for special forces stuff, James Bond type stuff, and I'm not even going to ask you because then you probably have to kill me, so I'm not going to ask. So, anyways, thank you for coming on to my show. See, you have to laugh, right? So,
That's right.
I will make sure that happens one way or
Good, good.
another. So, thank you for coming on to Coffee Break and Coffee with Roxy. I appreciate this greatly. And I have several people that I had informed that we would be on live, and I'm just waiting, for them to show up. Um, but the reason I asked you to come on is you do remote viewing,
Hmm.
and um, I've heard you talk about it. I've heard your meditation into it. I actually signed up for your remote viewing course. And the reason I wanted to talk with you about that is because remote viewing, my understanding is um, different from what I do with as far as Reiki. And I know your wife, Tracy Joe, is a Reiki master as well. And so I'm sure you're very aware of how all of the different energies flow and come together. Um, but I think for people out there who don't know what remote viewing is, can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's just really pretty simple. Everything's vibration, everything's frequency. Uh, Through Reiki, you know about that.
Mhm.
Anyone that's had a moment where they thought of somebody and the phone rang and it was that person. So you're basically all of us are on some level connected to these frequencies, and we recognize them. We're always connected to them, regardless of whether we're aware of it or not. Now, over time, I became more and more aware of these frequencies and these um, synchronistic events. So, synchronistic events, synchronicity is like if I was, same thing, if I was thinking about, I should do a show with Roxanne, and then you called me up and said, I was thinking about maybe we should do a show together. And then, boom, that's a synchronicity. So, it's a connection of frequencies. We work together, so it's easier for us to connect, and we don't even think anything else about it because we know of these frequencies, and your brain follows those frequencies as well. So as a remote viewer, what I learned is that you can send your consciousness out and pick up on things.
Mhm.
Now, first the first time I did it, it was on a trail that I'd never been down before. I meditated and imagined my consciousness going down this trail, and so I saw things on the trail, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Let's go see if I was correct." And I was extremely correct. A lot of stuff. One of the areas that I was working in is the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, and there are streams around there, but most of it's dry. And I saw a stream that was running across my path, and I was like, that's impossible. In my mind, analytically, I'm thinking that's impossible. So I went there, and this was pretty crazy. Uh, there was a spring that shot up, not like shot up, but
Mhm.
came up from underground,
Mhm.
went across my path, and then went underground again. I'd never seen anything like it, but I saw that in my vision, in my remote view. And then I saw other things, trees that were across the path, at a curve, and it was like there was a big branch that was across, and I saw it as a hand that was like reaching out to catch me.
Oh yeah.
I went up this when I went up the path one way, it didn't happen, but as I'm walking back, I was like, wonder where that hand thing was. And then I came upon this branch that was like, fingers on this branch that was stretched
Mm.
across the path. that when I went the other way, it didn't affect me. But coming back, it kind of impeded my view. So it kind of reached out and like a hand would, like I saw in my vision. So we'll see your mind will see things and your analytical process will try to make sense of it like a hand, or stream going across a path that in a place where there shouldn't be one. And so you're not, that's ridiculous. But then you see it,
Hmm.
and you see, oh, that's why I saw a hand across the path. It was like like a branch. So I started playing with that. I went into combat in Iraq, and I was having to go up and down this one. It's called Qadisha Highway, which was probably the most attacked road in all of Iraq because contractors and military would use that to go from the airport down to Saddam Hussein's palace.
Mm.
So it's heavily attacked.
Mm.
And so I would send my consciousness up the road before we would go, maybe an hour or so before we would go. And I would see if there was anything on the road that was like an ambush. And certain times I would see that, hold up my teams, and then unfortunately, uh, somebody else got ambushed. But I saw it in the time frame that we're going through. So this is another thing that is a little bit tricky, but I guess in some situations like I was in, you see time uh, real time.
Mm.
And I was able to eventually go to the point where I could see a week in advance attacks coming. And I would tell the guys on my team, stay off this road on this day at this time, and it would happen just as I had described it. So my remote viewing became over time very in tune with the environment, kind of like what I was talking about before. If we were going to have a show together, and I think about it, you're thinking about it, and
Yeah.
then yeah, we do
Yeah.
the show. So it's kind of like that. So that's remote viewing. It's pretty simple. You start simple,
Mm.
like I have people like look at you've never been to a restaurant. Imagine in your mind, you go in to that restaurant, you look around, and I've had so many people are like, I saw stuff, I was like, there's no way that's in there. This one client of mine, she was like, I saw these TVs in there, and I was like, that's crazy. She went in
Mm.
the restaurant, and there's TVs all over the place
Oh, wow.
on the wall. So, it's crazy the way this works,
Mm.
but it works. We all have the ability to tap into this.
Okay. I was going to ask you, anybody can learn
Yeah,
remote viewing.
I thought
Um,
thousands.
yeah, well, and just like for me with Reiki, anyone can learn Reiki,
Good point.
which, is divine energy coming through. Like I'm a radar tower, right? So I channel the energy comes through me and I can send that out. Granted, I'm not forecasting like, you know,
Hmm.
as far as remote viewing, but I can channel that energy out at a great distance. In fact, I had a client who lives in Toronto, and he was traveling to Qatar for the World Cup a few years ago. And he's like, Roxanne, can you send me Reiki? And I'm like, sure, so I did, and I got a text back from him afterwards. That was great. That was blah blah blah, whatever. So anybody can learn how to, like you said, remote view, and also with the Reiki healing. I think you have to really want that and get in that state of consciousness
Yeah.
to do that. Um,
And
and
you have
then
to believe in it. So if
you do have to believe
about
in
it,
it.
like at
Yeah.
first I was kind of doubtful, and then it revealed itself to me as being true. And then from that point on, I'm like, I can really do this. Then I,
Mm-hmm.
then the doubt, once that's gone, you become more, you have more access to this, like you're talking about,
Right.
divine source, energy, so forth. And I do the same thing. I've been part of prayer groups, but
Mm-hmm.
because I'm very in tune when I'm in part of a prayer group, a lot of times it's very successful. And if you're with people that, like yourself, have understanding of these energies, you're a lot more successful as well. So I call it, it's 111 where I'm at right now.
Oh,
So
wow.
what I call it is, that's angelic stuff. So
Yeah.
call it is remote influencing. So I would do remote influencing to heal an area that was being attacked and connect with people that were in that area and like a love frequency. So a vibrational frequency, very high level. We've heard that love is the most strongest force in the universe.
Right.
So
Right.
I tap that, from the heart center, from God source and so forth. And I connect with that and I connect with like-minded people. I don't have to know them. Uh, but I know that I'm connecting with them. They don't want the attacks either. They would
Mhm.
like peace and tranquility. And I connect with that and I anchor it in to I would anchor it into areas where I was at. There were extreme violence and it would go away completely and wouldn't come back. In fact, it hasn't come back to some of those areas ever since I've been gone for well over 10 years now.
Wow. Do you, maybe I'll save this question for a little bit later, but um, when, what would you say your most memorable remote view was? Maybe there's multiple, but maybe your favorite one, your the most special meaning one to you. Well, can you talk about that or
Yeah, and I've talked about it a few other times. There's quite a few,
yeah.
but this will be one that most, and I've had some that most people wouldn't recognize, but um, the one that everybody recognizes Osama bin Laden. Uh,
Mhm.
when he was taken down by SEAL Team 6,
Mhm.
and my particular squadron is like four different squadrons at SEAL Team 6, and so my particular squadron came in because another frequency, connection type thing. So you start to see these synchronicities like we talk about.
Mhm.
But we had been hunting for Osama bin Laden for I think almost a decade. Uh, the CIA. I was with the CIA at the time. After I left the SEAL teams, I went and worked for the CIA. So everybody was like, focused on him. I'd been part of other teams that were, we would look for other terrorists and we would find them and they'd be eliminated through processes, different process, whether it be SEAL Team 6, like my old team, coming in and get them, interestingly, or drone strikes or whatever. So Osama bin Laden, I decided, no one seems to be able to find him. I'm going to go look for him. So I looked for him in a remote view, and I knew that he was close to my location where I was in Pakistan.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna send him love. And that love frequency, as I'd learned, because I'd used it several times, uh, would be very, very strong to the point where either he would, come to the light, come to love energy, be one with the God force rather than the other side,
Mhm.
uh, and we all have that potential. We can go to the light, be part of the light, like you and I and probably everybody listening, maybe a few not so
Yeah.
much, that are going to check in and see what we're doing, but most of us are of the light, but there are some of the darkness, and
Right.
everyone is aware of that. So I could send them light and love. uh, I'm not attacking them. I'm just creating an environment where that exists, and it weakens their field of negativity and what they can do with that negativity field,
Yeah.
cause death and destruction and so forth to others. So eventually it got to the point where uh, I was working with this one case officer and we're hunting. We'd have like people that we would meet. We were meeting this one doctor that would go to the far provinces where the fighters that would fight the American soldiers would come across the border from Afghanistan into Pakistan. He would work on them. So we're constantly talking to him over several months and asking him, "What do you know about Osama bin Laden?" It's like, I don't know. No one seems to know. He's hidden away,
Mhm.
and so I'm seeing him in my mind's eye. I know kind of where he's at. He's he's not in my area. I was in Peshawar, Pakistan, and eventually where they went and got him, I was like, that's okay. That's where I was looking at him. So this case officer I was working with is like, because they're all of them were told work with your people that you're working with to get intelligence, and if they
Hmm.
can't lead you to Osama bin Laden, then dump them and then get somebody else. We
Mm.
really want Osama bin Laden. So I she told me, okay, I'm gonna have to dump this guy. And I was like, and I'd already gotten that he was going to lead us. I didn't know how. He was going to lead us to Osama bin Laden. And I was like, I told her that, and at that point, a lot of people in the CIA knew I had these abilities, right? So they would, when I would say something like that, they'd listen. Not all of them, but the ones that were kind of like on the up and up. So she was like, really? So she kept him, and eventually he did lead us to Osama bin Laden. He was a doctor that went into right outside his compound. He went into the compound, looked at all the kids and stuff, and did the tongue suppressor on their kids. Oh, you're good. He vaccinated them and everything, and then he took those tongue suppressors and came back with them. They did the DNA test, and yep, that's those are Osama bin Laden's kids. So he's in that compound.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
eventually, like I said, my old SEAL team, six. And I talked to some of those guys before, and I told them, I think we're close to him because we'd had these. I knew that we were. I
Hmm.
knew just from my experience, if I connected with someone and I started sending them the love energy, they were gone within a year. So we're getting close to that point. So I knew however these things happen, because I can't predict everything, but I knew that at some point, usually took about a year, he was going to go away and someone was going to take him out. And usually, like I said, it was SEAL Team 6 or Delta or a drone strike or something like that. So I figured that they would probably want to do um, have a group that would a team that would go in and get him so that they could you know, identify them and so forth. I had no idea that it would be like a worldwide thing where everybody knew about the mission. Uh,
Mm.
uh, Obama he wanted to get reelected, so
Mm.
this is why they were pushing to get him, and that's how we got him. So I didn't get the reward, so
Uh, man.
but that's not the way we work, right? We
Yeah. Yeah.
energy, and we're not there. If we ever did that, then we'd lose that ability. So if I ever used my energy for negative, then I would lose my energy, my abilities to remote view, to remote influence, and have intuitive insights to future
Hmm.
events and so forth.
Okay. So, now I know from your course, you have a meditation that you walk people through
Right.
to kind of expand their mind and to see whatever it is they're looking for.
Very good.
Um, which I think is a great meditation. And but as far as the mental abilities, and I know you just touched on that, but is breathing, like our deep breaths are involved in our breathing? And I know it's a whole state of consciousness. I just want to make sure people out there understand more,
Yeah.
and maybe they need to sign up for your class, which by the way, everybody is on michaelkjaco.com and sign up for the Intuitive Warrior class. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you for that plug. But
You're
yeah, I mean, there's the analytical process like we're talking about.
welcome.
So you have to bypass that analytical process because most people are very strong in that, and they're not very open to intuitions and energies and so forth. So the meditation allows people to get to that point
Hmm.
where it calms down and to a certain extent shuts down. You still need it because, like I said, when I did the remote view of the trail for the first time,
Hmm.
that was after I had done the meditation like two or three times before that and fell asleep. My analytical mind just went to the point where it was like, and then because some people have done my course and like, I had the best sleep in that during that meditation.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Because I did the same thing initially because it's teaching you how to go back and forth to get really deep just before the sleep and still stay conscious. And then that's where you send your 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 intuitive mind out
Hmm.
to go out and look at something. I've done these. I used to have a private platform where every month I would do remote viewing with a group, and we do different things. Some of the remote viewings were into their past lifetimes,
Mm.
and some of them were into future events, and we were extremely accurate as a group. So group meditations can work out pretty well,
Oh, yeah.
but for the beginners, they're like, I just saw blue, and it's like, so, and that's that it'll be like that in the beginning. So
Yeah.
you're learning how to you know bypass your analytical mind, which is like just a monkey mind, just trying to
Mm.
be always in control and oh let's
Oh,
do,
yeah.
do that. That's no 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 no. And so most people won't even attempt it because the analytical mind is egoic analytical mind is way too in control. Uh, and until, for me, it was when I was older in life and had learned a few things over time. Uh, the readings and so forth. There's always a very spiritual guy, but I'd never meditated before. So when I did my first meditation, that allowed me to go into these incredible states of consciousness. Now, it also helped me, as I was still in the SEAL teams when I was doing this,
Mm.
it also helped me to be a better shooter because shooting basically you have to calm yourself down. And I could do that. I was expert shot, but when I started doing the meditation, my expert shooting almost became perfection, almost perfection. I was
Wow.
one shot away from having a perfect score. Never got that perfect score. I still didn't, master that analytical mind completely. Uh, but I'd never seen anybody get to the levels that I had either in the SEAL teams. So my shooting improved. I would say pretty much everything in my life improved because of that calmness that I
Hmm.
was able to tap into. So that's another reason why I think and why so many people have loved the course. And course is I have another one, How to Become Master of Your Own Reality. And I
Hmm.
think there's been like 1,500 people have done that course,
Wow.
and the remote viewing course, I think like 1,100. So they're helping a lot of people.
Hmm.
That's what I saw at one point, where I was out on Pacific Crest Trail, which is right behind me
Yeah.
here in Lake Tahoe, and I went into a very meditative state on there. This is after I'd done a lot of remote viewing.
Hmm.
Uh, I left the CIA uh, because it was time. We'll put it that way. And because they tried to control my remote viewing abilities. And I was like, I didn't realize that at the time.
Wow.
They
Now,
were they were trying to corral me and control me.
huh. Wow. Is remote viewing still used in intelligence or in the Navy,
Of course. Yes, of course.
military? I'm
They're going
just
to tell you it's
asking
not
because,
because they don't want the other team to think that they have that capability.
okay.
But yeah, they do on a great scale. We've
Uh-huh.
had a lot of people, and I've read their books and done their courses that were remote viewers in the military, and
Mm.
then the military is like, well, we used to do that, but we don't do that anymore. Well, when I was in the CIA, they were telling me about all these things they were doing with it, and I was like, wow. And they're trying to recruit me. And so I did this lie detector test with them, and they're trying to like control my consciousness.
Wow.
I could see right through it. And I've been through resistance training. I've been through prison work training. And in fact, one of the guys that was doing my questioning in the lie detector test was like, you guys that have been through that prison war training stuff, you're always difficult. And I was like,
Mm.
that's interesting. Because I knew another buddy of mine that he was an exceptional SEAL.
Mm.
Had worked for the CIA,
Mm.
uh, and he did the lie detector test like I did, and he failed it. And
Mm.
I was like, how? And then he like left the CIA. I don't know if he got kicked out or he just got pissed off and left, but it was shortly after I did my, you know, lie detector
Wow.
test, and they screwed with me for a year, uh, that I left the CIA as well.
Wow.
So you have to protect your consciousness, you have to
Yeah.
protect your mind, you have to protect your integrity, your spirituality, and not let it get manipulated. And there are groups, and I work for the CIA doing amazing things, helping, find. I think I found seven or eight different terrorists. I was part of teams that found them. So
Wow.
a lot of them wanted me to be on their teams because that was seems like when Mike showed up, everything kind of like went well because I was using those abilities.
Right, right. Now, one thing I remember you talking about was when you had that Archangel Michael experience.
Mhm.
Is that when your remote viewing kind of kicked in, or was it before? Or-
That's a great question. My
yeah.
remote viewing was already very good. It did go to another level after that, but what really came in was a remote influencing, and it came in a very unusual way.
Mm,
So, as you can imagine, when you're in combat, you're always on the edge,
mhm,
trying to like, make sure that you're being aware and being hyper aware can put a strain on you over time.
mm.
So, I think it was like my third trip into Iraq, and I was doing the remote viewing, keeping my team safe. And after the Archangel Michael experience, so the Archangel Michael experience, I thought, I was dead. I was in my little bed in my little trailer outside of Saddam Hussein's palace, where a lot of us were staying, contractors, security contractors, and I just was awake and aware, and I was like, oh, I'm not in the normal awakeness. It's like a different awakeness. And
Mhm.
so I'd heard about this, and I was like, people had said if you have a out of body experience, look down, so that strengthens your abilities as an out of body during an out of body experience. So I looked down and I'm blown up. I'm like, oh, I'm not having an out of body experience for the first time. I'm dead, and
Oh, no.
I'm leaving my body. My soul's gone. So I was like, that's really a bummer because I feel like I can really help and serve humanity.
Mm.
And then I get this strong feeling, and I look up, and there's Archangel Michael. And
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, there's an angel. It's huge, and it's all white. And so I look into the angel's eyes, as I would find out later is Archangel Michael, and this light, this love energy just came into my eyes, through my eyes, and lit my body up, every cell in my body, uh, all the way down to the atomic structure.
Wow.
It was like, oh my God, boom, I'm back in time, back in my body, and
Mm.
I sit up, and there's a huge explosion in the distance, and it was a Kadusha rocket, which were extremely accurate. So that would have, so then I'm like, okay, that was real. And there's other things I saw that led me to that. And I didn't really know about angels. And then I started looking at angels, and then I saw, oh, it's Archangel Michael. That's the angel I saw when I looked at books and pictures. So, so from that point
Wow.
on, about 3 or 4 days later, maybe a week, I'm going out in the cars, and we had um, we had armored cars, but with a rocket, uh, RPG, rocket propelled grenade, they would penetrate
Mm.
the cars that we had. They're
Mm.
good for bullets and small arms fire and stuff like that. But for rockets, especially RPGs, can penetrate armor. So we're going out. We're going to the airport, pick people up, and it's like, oh my God, I didn't do the remote view because I was kind of tired and back and forth. And and it was a quick turnaround. So uh, we go out the gate. So we called it the green zone because it was heavily there's like tanks and army guys and everything at the
Right.
gate. So we went through the gate, through the barriers, and then we're starting to pick up speed. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't do the remote view. And then I got the feeling that we're in a kill zone. We're about to be ambushed. And I was like, oh no, we're gonna get hit. And here I am gonna die again. And then I got this feeling, send out love. And like, Archangel Michael had
Yeah.
looked in my eyes and filled me with love. It's like send out love, like every cell in my body had been lit up. Like every cell in your body is sending it out. And I was like, what? And it's like, do it. It's like Archangel Michael's a warrior, warrior angel. So he's like, I'm a warrior. So he like talked to me like, do it. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay. So I felt like I was like sending out love, like, just pushing it out there and bubbling up and pushing out as far as I could. And the feeling that we're about to get hit started to dissipate and dissipate and dissipate. And then we got a little bit further down the road and it went away. And I was like, what was that? What was that? And
Wow.
then we get back to we get to the airport, the compound, it's like 8 miles out, 12 miles out, whatever it was. And once we get there, we found out they're like, "Are you guys good?" And we're like, "Yeah, what do you mean?" It's like there was another group that came out right after you guys and they got hit by a RPG. And I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah. Oh
So
my
from that point
gosh.
on, I was like, oh, I have this new ability now.
Yeah.
And so then started to use it in different ways. I would protect the car that we're in, like I did, and then I
Mm-hmm.
protect the house that we're in. And then eventually, like I talk about, I protected the city that we're in. And it would last only as long as I was in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So I would leave the city and then it'd have attacks. And I was like, how can I like, make this, stay? And then I got connect with other people and then anchor it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. So that's just, you get these little things come into your mind. And I was like, okay. And then, like I said, the places where I did that, there's not been any attacks. There wasn't any from that point on. And
Wow.
here, like, well over a decade later for some of those places, there's never been attacks in them since.
That's amazing. That's really, really pretty
It
cool.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Most people don't understand energy, don't
Mm-hmm.
understand that we all have that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll hear it and they're like, whatever. And because the people I work with, they're like, yeah, we we don't believe in what you're doing, but let us know if these attacks are coming. So I dealt with that for a while, and then like I said, eventually I got to the point where I'm just like, I don't tell them anymore because I'm
Yeah.
protecting everything.
Right.
They don't
Yeah.
realize, and they would like it because they would send me to places where everybody's gone from this one. I went to Yemen one time,
Mm.
and everybody had left this one outpost that we had,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a beautiful outpost, but the special forces guys, SEAL Team Six, my whole SEAL team's gone. They're like, this is too dangerous here, and so they're like, it was me and one other guy. And they're like, send Mike. And so everybody's like, okay, if we have to leave, we're going to go down. We're going down the mountain to the seaside. We're going to get a boat and we're going to go over to Somalia because we had a base in Somalia. And so I was like, okay, it's a pretty crazy place. So I'm really pushed out the energy. We were dealing with guys that were located. They could, if they looked up, they could see our compound. And we're in this big house
Uh-huh.
that overlooked the water and everything. It was a beautiful house
Yeah.
and a wall around it. Everything has a wall around it in the Middle East. And
Yeah.
so, and of course, we've had a lot of Middle Easterners come here. Like they opened the border and let them come in. But and
Yeah.
they're
What
dangerous
what are we
people.
doing about that?
Well,
Maybe that's a
that,
different show.
that is that. Well, I can tell you because I've seen this and I've talked about it.
Mm,
No one's told me about it, but I know that there are groups out there that are basically, uh, you know, lots of them. I would say tens of thousands of guys like me, with my old abilities, not the remote viewing and influencing, but SEAL Team Six level, with shooting skills and going after bad guys.
mm.
they're all over the U.S. Cleaning up. So that's going to be good. Still probably going to have a little bit of problems, but that's what I see. But that can change. We're moving into an era. We've all heard this of the golden age. Now, every time there's like this transition from a dark age to a golden age, everybody's still under the impression that because we our consciousness was dumbed down. There's lots of evil. There's lots of negativity and lies and deceit. So
Mhm.
it's very hard for most people to believe that, yeah, we're going into a golden age. Yeah, I don't see it. Kind of like those guys are like, oh, you can remote view. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, if you see something, let us know because you've been pretty good. So we are moving into a golden age, but there's a transition always, and it's a break from old, consciousness level to a new consciousness level, even from a golden age to a dark age.
Mhm.
Everybody's like, "Oh, it's so beautiful. We're all like peace, and there's no war, and we all work together well." And then it doesn't happen anymore.
Uh,
Then everybody realizes there's wars all the time. What happened?
yeah.
And people are sick and all these kind of things. So we're
Mm.
transitioning from that phase into a higher consciousness phase. So we're seeing a lot of people like this conversation we're having right now just
Yes.
wouldn't exist, 15, 20 years, definitely not 20 years ago. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, it would
Mhm.
be hard for this conversation, be had with anybody watching it. But now this will probably have a lot of people view it and understand it even,
Yeah.
and also realize that I've been doing this, and that's why we have these conversations so people can understand that hey, we're making this transition,
Mhm.
and these things that I do, you can do an even greater, like Jesus said.
Mhm.
We're coming into that level of consciousness.
Yeah.
He
Well,
knew it was coming. He was a remote viewer, and he could see into the future. So,
well, and I think that's great. And I also think too, I mean, with the remote viewing skills, but also with Reiki, healing energy and love, the love vibration, which I know that's your kind of your slogan, stay in the love vibrations. But it's true. Love is the most powerful frequency out there. And I've sent Reiki out to the world before.
oh, nice.
And
Good.
so all the energies and excuse me, I just imagine my heart chakra just grow and grow, and the energy emanates out from that area and out into the world. And long story short, I saw in my, third eye, I saw the entire globe covered in this golden white swirly light.
Mm,
And just my angels, somebody told me it's going to be okay. And we have to get through the bad in order to jump to the other side on the good. And but what I witnessed while I was envisioning the globe encompassed by this golden light. It looked like a golden marble, with the swirls and stuff in it. Um, but I jumped in and I was standing kind of at the edge of where the darkness met the light.
mm,
And in that space, I don't know how big of an area it was, but in that space, there was this baby raven. And so I picked it up and I held this baby bird, like I didn't know where its mother was. And I'm like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And there was black lightning all around. Everything was pitch black, but I could see this little bird perfectly. And behind me was the golden light, but out in the distance, it was like, I guess how they taught us in astronomy when I took astronomy in college. They taught us that a black hole it's really a dead star. So the gravitational force of that star is like ridiculous. So everything gets pulled apart. I mean, this is all in theory.
Hmm.
Um, but I looked up and I see this swirling black vortex. It was like chaos, like, I don't know, demons and craziness and just all kinds of like dark energy and every shade of dark. And I'm cowering down, holding this little bird, and something said, "It's gonna be okay." And like that blackness went away, and the golden light was all around us.
Oh, wow. That's good.
So that was really pretty powerful. And I don't share a whole lot of my testimonies as far as like Reiki and stuff, but I know it to be very powerful. And I've sent healing to other people at a distance, and um they're just very grateful for what I'm telling them. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, the darkness, like you're seeing, so I see the darkness too.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I look at, you know, some of these, terrorists and so forth, like Osama bin
Mhm.
Laden, he had very dark entity on him. All of the terrorists that I looked at and worked on had
Mhm.
dark entities on them. But I kept a distance. The first time I didn't understand uh, how to do that, work
Mhm.
from a distance.
Mhm.
Eventually, now what I do is I'm at the level where I can just go in and defeat the demons. But initially, I tried to fight the demon that was on this one particular terrorist that was causing all the because I was like, who's causing uh, all of the terrorist attacks that we're having to deal with?
Mhm.
And so I'm like remote viewed, and I saw who would be known to us later as Zarqawi. He was part of Saddam Hussein's special forces, the general, whatever. But they had a plan if we came in and took down Saddam Hussein and took over Iraq, that they would go into guerrilla warfare. So I remote viewed him, and I'm like, I'd heard that you can fight demons. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm gonna go fight. I'm gonna go see if he's got a demon. If he does, I'm gonna fight it. And
Mhm.
so I looked, I saw who it was. It had the mustache, had the features, everything that I would see, or everyone would see Zarqawi, uh, about a year later. And it was about that time frame where we were like, okay, this is Zarqawi. He's the guy that's in charge. He's the one doing everything. And
Mhm.
then SEAL Team 6 came in and did a missile strike on him. So, and it was a laser target designating. They were on target and then identified the body, got remains and so forth, so that we knew that we got him. So I saw him in in my mind's eye. I'm remote viewing him. So I'm like, does he have a demon on him? Because I'd heard about this. Like evil people could have demons on them.
Mhm.
So I'm like, a demon came off of him and was very powerful demon. And I was like, oop, I'm out. So went back to my body.
Yeah.
I didn't fight him. I had the intention to fight him, but they're very powerful in that angry, negative realm.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
we can't fight them there. That's why we come at it with love, because it's far more powerful than their anger, negativity, and fear, and so forth.
Yeah.
So it was like 2 days later that I was dead. So I tracked that by going after that demon. And then Archangel Michael saved me, and now I defeat demons. But I see him like you're talking about. I see
Yeah.
the darkness, and I bring light to it, and
Mm.
it completely defeats it, completely takes it away. One of the things I do now, if I'm targeted, because Source God, requests me to go, take care of business sometimes. Uh, I'm like a I'm like James Bond on a way different level. So so I go in and look at some of these bad people
Yeah.
that are doing bad things in our world, and basically, if they have a demon, which they always do,
Mm.
I just basically put the demon into light.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just departiculate the demon. I have the armor of God on. That happened to me one time. I went in, I saw these two different world leaders. I'll just leave it at that. And both of them had, they had like reptilian demons that had
Ooh,
wings. And I was like, whoa. And they breathe fire. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be tough. And then I had armor all over me and I had the sword and a shield. And I, withstood the fire breathing and went in and it just went whoop. And they departiculated and went to the light.
wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, I had a reptilian experience
Oh, wow.
a few years ago.
Hmm.
I went out in my front driveway and um, I have a lot of trees and bamboo and things here around my house. And I was just out there by my car and looking, listening to the birds and whatever. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this dark image. I mean, it was like alligator green black color. Okay. And it was a little bit taller than me. But before I saw that, the hair on the back of my neck just like went ping, it stood up
Oh, wow.
straight and I heard this like hissing sound like a sound like a
Wow.
snake tongue, that flickering. And it was like sniffing the back of my neck. And I'm like, oh my God, please help me right now. And
My God.
my angel came down, shielded me under his wings, and grabbed this reptilian thing because I saw it out of the corner of my
Wow.
eye. And
Very
it
cool.
grabbed this reptilian by its tail and flung it into the ethers. I mean, that was the craziest thing that I like. And I'm like, I wasn't even doing anything except listening to the birds and whatnot, but that was wild. And it's real. This stuff is real. Like, because
Yeah.
I can see entities that might be attached to people. And I
Yeah,
have
I had a
a few
client that
stories, yeah.
he wanted
So,
me to because he did remote viewing. He crushed it.
mhm,
He started doing remote influencing, and the one thing I do is like the easiest thing you can remote influence is the weather. So
mhm.
he remote influenced the weather, brought in the weather, and then it was like, I want to go to the next level. I want to go after demons like you. I was like, oh boy, I've never had that request before. I said, okay. And he's like, I got this friend. And I think he's got a demon on him.
Mm.
He's like, he was a biker and did some bad things. And but now he's supposedly good, but I think he might still have some negativity. So I did a meditation with him, told him how to protect himself, being a golden light and bubble himself up and then remote view from a distance. So I'm with him while he's doing it, watching it over. And he he saw, I saw uh, the demon on his friend. His friend
Mm.
did still have a demon,
Mhm.
and he was about ready to do some dark things, and he would have ensnared this developing soul, beautiful soul. So, so we get back, and it's like, okay, what'd you see? And he's like, I didn't see anything, and I was like, oh, really? So I went and cleaned him. I was like, uh, so he wasn't ready, and so I've done this with other people.
Mhm.
They get to the point where they start to see some stuff, and they can get themselves in trouble, kind of like what I did in the beginning.
Mhm.
So he wanted to go there. I helped him. I've helped other people do this to a certain extent, and they'll see stuff, but it can sometimes get them in trouble. And so I just went to his friend, and the demon was on him. His demon came out of him and took a knee to me, and it's like, please don't kill me. Okay. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to send you away, but don't come back to this guy ever again. And don't send anybody else more powerful to this guy again, because I know how that is. Now, this sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't, because there are some people that will continually bring in the dark forces because they like it, or they've been,
Mhm.
uh, you
Mhm.
know, um, compromised by the dark forces for so long as they can go to the light for a little bit, and then they'll basically come back to the darkness, unfortunately. So it's a struggle
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
Uh, there's a lot of darkness out there.
Oh yeah.
We know that. I think there's a lot of people in the chat, and you do have a like a white light on your head shining from your head, and it's just like I know that I mean it's the sun, but I feel that it's more than the sun, right? I feel like you're
Yeah,
divinely protected. So,
definitely.
um, and
It's a good subject, but
yeah,
yeah, when you start to go in these realms, you can attract. So you have to
yeah,
be aware of that too. So you have to be able to you know, think about some of these things, uh, but you'll have to protect yourself
yeah,
even when you're thinking
right.
and some of these because that'll like, oh, you're interested in me, and then you're gonna like attract something. So just
No,
don't be afraid. Don't never be afraid,
right.
but don't be like over optimistic of your abilities because that's what I did initially,
Yeah.
like I'm trying to describe to everybody. But
Well, it's like we have to put up protection first, I think.
yes,
I mean, I
yes,
do before I do Reiki.
very
Like
good.
before
That's
I came on this show, I'm like, just please God, make sure I am safe and protected under you at all times, right?
very
So,
good. Yeah, that's good,
um,
and that's
and
what
I
I do in
mean,
the meditations.
it's
Yeah.
more than that. I mean, I make a lengthy thing out of it, but,
All right. Good.
and, now I have heard that those dark entities, they do not like the crystal bowls. They don't like the
Right.
vibration of that, and they don't like when you burn sage. So that's why we smudge our homes to get that negative stuff out. So,
Yeah. To drive them out, initially cedar.
hmm
Burn the cedar first and leave a door open or a window open so that they can flee. So, and then you do the sage. So the sage is basically a protection, but to clear, you need cedar. So,
hmm
so it's good to
Okay.
clear and then protect with
Yeah.
the, yeah.
Excellent. No, thank you for that. And I think most of the people in the chat, they're all like our Lifewave people. And
Cool.
so hi everybody from Lifewave. And I
Yeah, and
wanted,
that's a good segue into
yeah,
LifeWave because there's a frequency. And,
yeah.
uh,
And
I've noticed since using LifeWave, I'm fortunate to have the water machine. Not to rub it in. I know you had one ordered, didn't come yet, but
they're making it specially
that's
for
special
me.
for you. You're going to get like the best ever. So,
It's going to be
uh, and
diamond encrusted.
and that's very important. We're kind of joking about that, but if you take that mentality,
Mm-hmm.
that will help because I needed help. Uh, I use LifeWave. It's probably saved my life in a lot of different ways because I get attacked, unfortunately, quite a bit. Uh,
Yeah.
and everyone can probably imagine from all the stuff that I've been involved in and what I do.
hmm
So I was having some troubles, and I was like, I need I need that water machine, X2O machine, because I
Yes.
know it's got a higher vibrational frequency, and I've heard other people have used it that had
Mm-hmm.
problems. So I was starting to have some problems and like lung issues and
Yeah.
some skin problems that were starting to flare up and get to a point where they're really bad.
Yeah.
So I started using the water machine and all of it cleared up to a great level.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's great. Yeah.
And it's a frequency. It's a vibrational field, and it comes from God's source because
hmm
David Schmidt talks about how he connected with it. Same thing with the patches, the copper peptides X39, X49,
hmm
and the energy enhancer, which he initially developed for the SEAL community,
hmm
and it does work for SEALs
Yeah.
because I'm a living example. It gives me a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I do so much. I'm like I can't believe that I'm still alive. So, I'm like, I never thought I would make it this far.
Uh,
And I think
yeah.
because of, some of the frequencies that I've been involved in,
Mm,
the understanding and attracting. So you'll attract to you, the things that will make you healthy so that you live long enough to go into the golden age and experience it. Because
yeah.
we're in a cusp where they're throwing everything at us. Chemtrailing, like they've been chemtrailing here
It's
for like crazy
crazy.
days.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, you know, putting stuff in our water, fluoride, and all kind of crazy stuff.
hmm
food, compromises the food, big pharma medications. There's all kinds of things. They're at this cusp where we move to the golden age. They're really going to throw everything at us. Wars. We're going to have wars. It's not going to be a worldwide thing, but it will be isolated. Earth changes, all kind of crazy stuff. So uh, frequency is what it's all about, and having the right frequencies, which we do with Lifewave, is going to be hugely important going forward.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So what I wanted to say too, because I'm a director under you in Lifewave, and I want to say
And you
that
got your second star. Congratulations.
oh yeah, yeah, thank you. So I'm a
Woo.
2-star.
Yeah.
So
Move it to a 3 star because you're right at the top up there. So you're
I'm
fast.
working on it. I'm
Yeah.
supposed
You're doing an
to
amazing job.
enroll
Yeah.
somebody tomorrow with a I say supposed to, if everything goes as planned, with a premium kit.
Oh, okay.
So, but
That's
what I
awesome.
wanted to announce is for those of you who are wanting to get involved in LifeWave out there, if anyone is interested in signing up with me,
Hmm.
um, because Michael benefits also, but if anyone is
Reiki.
interested in signing up with an advanced enrollment kit or higher, I will give a complimentary Reiki session
Woo!
between December 1st and December 24th. So
Wow.
that's my offer.
Dang. Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's
Yeah.
incredible. You should be, I hope you have a flood of people, but it doesn't overwhelm you to the point where you can't do anything else. So
No, no, I
you'll
mean,
probably have to,
I'll
yeah,
schedule it
it'll work out
around all the other stuff that I'm doing.
good. Yeah, you do a great job, helping me manage my stuff, and you're
Thank
building
you.
your business, and
Yes, sir.
uh, on the side, you're like, you're working with the plastic surgeons. After
Mhm.
they do their work, you go in and help people, and a lot of those people get into LifeWave too, because
Yeah,
you show them
well,
they can over.
yeah, I do talk to a few. I mean, I'm like, when, because they're still under the influence of anesthesia, when I'm with them. I'm like, when you're sober, we can talk more about this because
Good, good,
don't do anything while you're under the influence. So, so
smart, very
yeah.
smart.
So anyway, so thank you so much for coming on here and talking with me and laughing with me. And because I've always, as a nurse, I've always tried to incorporate some sense of humor into somebody's life, because I figure if you can't laugh, what's the point? You know?
That's true, and we've heard laughter is the best medicine.
Yes.
And that is a frequency as well. You're
Mm,
basically you're invigorating yourselves.
yeah.
They're all depressed and sad, and they have some kind of nasty frequency in there that's compromising them. So by laughing, you're basically raising your frequency, raising your vibration, and I think that's what the patches do as well. Help us, keep our frequencies and vibrations high. So works out really
Absolutely.
good.
And our mental clarity.
That's a huge one as well because that's being
Yes.
optimized on
Yes.
all the levels too. Yeah, good point.
Especially for, what you do and what we all do.
Yep.
All
All you
right.
Reiki masters out there.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Tracy Joe. I know you're somewhere in the background. So, yeah. All
Thanks, Roxanne. Yeah, this is
right,
a great show. I
Michael.
appreciate it. It was a
Oh,
lot of
thank
fun.
you. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Bye, everybody.